Be Enlightenment Chasers. Royalties of peace are stealing the storm back to peace that has no storm while looking unto perfect peace. Today is December 4th of 2024, a Wednesday, my water day, bringing to us the refreshing of the mind. We have come so far with the elections. We have observed the Veterans Day, and Thanksgiving was just past Thursday. For some reason, I had a double Thanksgiving this year, a Thursday to a Thursday Thanksgiving 2024. Must I admit that I'm at the greatest point of my being? The excitement of the enlightenment of my being requires a double Thanksgiving, realizing the within we all are of a multicultural world, which unwinds with the United States of America, a born country in the Americas. I could say the native's birth of excitement, a strange kind of a birth is the United States of America among the natives. The same reason why we really need the border to differentiate between the father and the son. It is very necessary to differentiate between the father and the son. We might have had misunderstanding. We might have been at loggerhead with each other, only brainstorming to arrive to what exactly is our expectation being humans on earth, fulfilling the human purpose, bringing history to the present time, enables the expected future of our being, the mind battlefield free. Our true being is the mind battlefield free. Going through the news today, understanding how far we are working upon President Trump getting into the White House in January. From my understanding, sexism is the core of our problems, which is not really well addressed by its definition and understanding why it is. Generative AI says sexism is prejudice or discrimination based on one's sex or gender. It says sexism can affect anyone, but primarily affects women and girls. A matter of experiment, proves that it affects more women and girls. And one worthy said, the reason why President Trump won at his first election over the Secretary of State, royalty Hillary Clinton, was because of sexism. And also that the reason he won this election over Vice President royalty Harris Kamala was because of sexism, which I did not argue the point because it makes sense why it is sexism. And the same reason why I preferred a male president to a female president, especially in the United States of America, for now, until we understand what sexism is and why it is so much aggressive on women. Why is it so much overweighing on women? Aggressiveness is the overweighing. Why has this characteristic been an obstacle in the place of women playing their role of expected? Both genders have equality, but there is a disability which we choose to put a blindfold on because it has been like tradition. It is very difficult to undo traditions, but we must remember the United States of America, the Constitution, our forefathers emphasized the need for us to work on our traditions by enabling reason, the enlightenment, the awakening from our disruptions of being higher beings on earth, black or white. The LGBTQ group, the heterosexism, LGBTQ has been very identified this season after the election of struggling. The LGBTQ, alarming to us, our complicated state of being, discrimination upon the female gender is arising so many other groups of genders never of existence. It's so sad to understand that Massachusetts has prohibited discrimination based on sexual orientation in public and private employment and housing public accommodations. Public accommodations. It's sad understanding that all of this do not exist, but rather a cry. It is like bringing a crying baby in church. It is like bringing one with a blindfold to read a book. But why is the government doing this? To awaken the women who cry day in, day out concerning discrimination at workplaces. The questioning of why women are always left behind. Why are women always secondary to men multiplying? The more we multiply, the more we bring on earth. It is more of like dividing self into pieces. Work is not really being done because we multiply. We only find ourselves trying to satisfy our numbers of being than enabling the enlightenment that we need of transitioning from the physical state to the spiritual state of our being. The mind of enlightenment is the spiritual state of our being. Excuse me for Christians enabling spirituality to reflect only on religion. Spirituality is the divine state of our mind. The peaceful state of our being is what is spirituality. Gender stereotyping can be beneficial at the same time, unbeneficial. Thinking that a woman cannot do hard work restricts the woman from hard work, such that when you enforce a woman to do some hard work, it becomes abuse. Men more accused of abusing women than women abusing men. It's a blindfold, which is why we experience this group overtaking. The LGBTQ is the new male and female of our being. Multicultural is not our expectation, but a wake-up call, like a crying baby at night. When the baby cries, you cannot sleep. And until the baby is quiet, then can we have sleep. The LGBTQ family is the baby we have that we need to comprehend what President Trump is up to. With sexism being the power to rule, and has always been. Very few times have women taken over. But of all the times women have taken over, we have only realized how difficult it is to rule being a woman. With children, when we think a woman cannot play soccer because of her gender, stereotyping And today, women having a soccer team, it's like overruling. It's like blindfolding the problem that we have, which I'm thinking it is time for all women to come together and really fix the problem than shying away from it or trying to cover up over it. Women know it hurts to have children. It is time for us to overhaul. It's time for us to overtake. It's time for us to repair our gender, the female gender, which is now explaining itself in LGBTQ gender, a new kind of gender among us. After we have struggled with traditions, beliefs, entertainment, family guidelines, religious, and cognitive abilities, paving our being, leaving us devastated with experiences over years and generations now counteracting. How long do we keep on changing our roles? Unlike a defeat, we must have a constant role. We must have a constant role, a constant training, a constant practice to enter into perfect peace of the mind. This is a transitioning process of our being. Politics is very important. Politics is the overall spirituality. If you ask me, religion is only a supportive of politics. We are the government. Every being of us is church. Every single being of us is power. Without us, there is no church. Without us individually, there is no party. But at the end of the day, what embodies us is power of the mind, which is the one perfect peace that governs us. The solving of our problems is politics. Religion may be full of traditions, but with enlightenment and reason, we experience that in politics. How we heal our religions is with politics, understanding our gender struggles, help us to unwind our beliefs to expect it. It's time for us women to sit and really work on sexism, the disability of our being, of multiplying and dividing. Let us spend time trying to be like men, to equal with men of being. Let it be on them, the next election, on why a woman is not fit to be president. Let sexism not be the reason why a woman cannot become president. It is very sad how we women will put sexism to be the reason why we cannot take over the world, when we have the power equal with men of the mind, our bodies should not be what to define us, but our mind. But our mind builds our bodies. If our bodies are presenting complications, then our mind is the source of it. No matter how we hide it, it can only prove itself when we stand for election. It's time for us to pave the true woman that we are, equal with men of the mind, enabling the solution will reverse the complicated states of our being. Now that we have pointed out the main problem why a woman struggles with a man over elections. Even when President Barack Obama became president, it is very obvious that a woman has the right mind and intelligence to become president. But sexism, not even race, not even race or color race, not even the color race, but sexism. Please, let us sort out our struggles being a woman by working on sexism, hearing the cry of the children through the voice of the LGBTQ group will help us walk of expected next election. I'm proud of us women and respect to our men. This is December, a time of enlightenment. The starlight star bright will always be the mind, perfect peace, and not a gender, not a son, not a daughter, but the mind, perfect peace must be our definition of a being after having LGBTQ presenting after the male and female gender. We must become one, indivisible, and no more divided. Thank you for listening. He steals the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking on to perfect peace.